My dearest Bishop, as I pen this letter, I feel the icy fingers of mortality tightening their grip around my heart. I write not out of a desire to cleanse my conscience, for that would be a vain hope indeed, but rather to unburden my soul of the dark secrets that have festered within it for far too long. Perhaps, in the twilight of my wretched existence, I may yet find some semblance of redemption. You may recall the Abbey of Ravenswood, nestled in the secluded heart of the English countryside, a place where my life's path took a treacherous turn towards damnation. It was a time when my faith in the Almighty was unwavering, and my devotion to our holy cause knew no bounds. But as I now confess, it was also a time when the tempestuous flames of desire threatened to consume my soul, and my heart beat erratically with forbidden yearning. My beloved Bishop, I must admit that I harbored an unholy affection, a secret passion that was as sinful as it was blasphemous. The object of my desire was none other than Sister Isabella, a novice of the Abbey. Her youth and beauty a stark contrast to my own aging visage. Her radiant countenance was like a beacon of purity, a celestial light that drew my unworthy heart into the depths of her innocence. At first, I fought these wicked inclinations, for I knew the righteous path was one of restraint and abstinence. I saw Sister Isabella as a test of my resolve, a test I was determined to pass. But the devil is a cunning tempter, and in the solitude of my chambers, the darkness of my soul prevailed. One moonless night, as the mist enshrouded the abbey like a shroud, I found myself unable to resist the pull of Sister Isabella's presence. I entered her chamber, my heart pounding with the weight of sin, and I sought to ensnare her in a web of deceit. The words that passed my lips were as sweet as honey, but they carried the venom of seduction. She recoiled in horror. My advance is an affront to her devotion. I was cast aside like a vile serpent, and her rejection seared my very soul. In that moment of rejection, my love for her twisted into something far darker, a malevolent obsession. Fearful that Sister Isabella would expose my sinful desires to the world, I hatched a sinister plan, one that would cast her into the depths of damnation and absolve me of guilt. I accused her of a forbidden relationship with Brother Dominic, a young and insolent man who had caught her eye. I whispered falsehoods into the ears of my brethren, tales of secret rendezvous and unholy unions. The members of the Abbey, blinded by their faith and their loyalty to me, believed every word. Even as Sister Isabella pleaded her innocence, they turned a deaf ear to her cries. It was a twisted, grotesque tableau of hypocrisy and ignorance. With the fury of righteous indignation, we descended upon Brother Dominic, dragging him to the catacombs beneath the abbey. In that desolate and forsaken place, we silenced his voice forever, his screams of innocence falling on deaf ears. The darkness of that night still haunts my dreams, for I knew then that I had become a monster. But it was Sister Isabella's fate that truly sealed my damnation. Unable to carry out her execution, I ordered her to be bricked up alive in the very walls of the abbey. I watched, my heart heavy with guilt and horror, as the stones closed in around her, sealing her in a living tomb. It was then that I saw a look in her eyes, a look of defiance and resignation. She did not weep, nor did she scream. Instead, she fixed me with a gaze that chilled my very soul. It was a look that spoke of a determination to endure, to haunt me for all eternity. I returned to that cursed wall many times in the days that followed. Each time I heard it, the sound of her frail hands clawing at the stone, a sound that echoed through the catacombs and reverberated in the darkest recesses of my mind. The sound of her torment became my constant companion, a relentless reminder of the atrocity I had committed. Weeks turned into months, and the sound never ceased. It grew louder, more frenzied, as if Sister Isabella's spirit had been consumed by madness. I was driven to the brink of insanity by the ceaseless, maddening scratching, a symphony of suffering that echoed through the Abbey's hollow halls. Then, after 2 decades of unrelenting torment, I could bear it no longer. I stood before the wall, my trembling hands clutching a hammer and chisel. I struck the stone with a desperate fervor, tearing it down to free Sister Isabella from her prison. But what I discovered within the wall was a chilling void, an empty, hollow space that held no trace of Sister Isabella. She had vanished, leaving behind only the haunting echo of her torment, the relentless scratching that had driven me to the brink of madness. My beloved Bishop, I pen this confession in the hope that you may find it in your heart to grant me absolution. I seek forgiveness for my sins, even as I acknowledge the irredeemable darkness that stains my soul. I am a wretched, broken man, tormented by the specter of Sister Isabella and the malevolence that lurks within the Abbey's walls. May the Almighty have mercy on my soul, for I fear that I am damned beyond all hope. Yours in despair and penitence, Abbott Ashcroft.